Hi, welcome to IELTS PD Success. I'm Jayati, and today we are going to be discussing the different essay types that are present in the IELTS Writing Task 2. Now, before we begin, if you are new to our channel, then please do not forget to subscribe at the end of this video. And if you have any kind of assistance that you've been looking out for to crack the IELTS or the PT academic exam, then please do feel free to reach out to us in the comment section, or you can email us or find us on Facebook and Instagram, and we will be happy to help you. Now, we are going to be discussing what's the format in task 2 and what are the types of essays that can be present in your exam, and what are the tips that we have to offer you so that you can get that best possible score in your IELTS writing task 2. So let's begin with the format of writing task 2. As you know, the IELTS exam does expect you to follow a certain kind of a format when you are doing the writing section. So just to give you an idea, the pattern that the essay follows is you have to write at least a minimum of 4 paragraphs. Your minimum word limit is 250 words, and you have about 40 minutes so that you can complete this task. So, this is an overall idea of what your format looks like. And if you want more details on this, please do feel free to watch our other video on the writing task too. And moving forward, let's discuss what are the different essay types in the writing task too. So there are broadly 5 categories in the essay type, and they are classified as what you can see about over here on your screen. The 5 categories are agree or disagree, advantage and disadvantage, discuss both sides, problem and solution, and the last one being a two-part question. So we are going to look into all of these types in detail. What is the format that you should follow while writing them, and what are you expected to do in each task type? In each essay type. So let's begin with agree or disagree. So, like you can see from the given question in front of you, it is fairly obvious that from the exam point of view, they are asking you whether you agree or disagree with the following statement. Now, you have to take a side because that is how you will frame your answer. And the format or the structure that you need to follow while writing an agree or disagree type of question is you write an introduction, which is basically paraphrasing the question statement that is given to you, and also letting them know whether you agree or disagree with this topic. Then, in the first paragraph, which is known as our body paragraph, you start by, if you have decided to agree, then you give the first supporting idea as to why you agree with it, and followed by an example. Then, the second body paragraph, you put in your second supporting idea, and if possible, give an example to support this idea as well. In the end, you offer a conclusion along with the conclusion will basically be a summary of what you have written along with your opinion at the end of it. Now remember, an example is extremely important so that the examiner knows that you have understood the question, given a valid suggestion or an idea, and have an example to support your idea. Moving forward, let's have a look. The next one is advantage and disadvantage. Now, this essay type, you have no option but to discuss both the advantage and disadvantage of the question given before you. So, the structure that you will need to follow for this type is you give an introduction, that is again paraphrasing the question statement. Then, the first paragraph, you either write a disadvantage or you write the advantage, whatever you are comfortable. And the next paragraph, if you have started with the advantage, then you mention the disadvantage of this particular problem. And then in the end, you write your conclusion, which is summarizing what you have written above. And here also, please try and take a side or give your opinion by stating whether you feel this statement is or this problem is an advantage or a disadvantage, and conclude it accordingly. You must remember to follow your word limit. You must stick to your word limit. Do not write below 250, and don't go exceeding it also beyond 300. Coming to the third type, which is discuss both sides. This again is very, very similar to advantage and disadvantage, because you do have to discuss both sides of the question. For example, here we have a question which is discussing whether animals should be exploited by people, if they should not be exploited by people and have same rights as humans, or humans can use animals for satisfying their needs for food and research. So when you start writing this essay, you again in your introduction will paraphrase this question and give your opinion also, give an idea of your opinion. And do remember, this question is asking you for your opinion, so you must have an opinion. After your introduction, you take up the first side of the issue. That is, maybe you can start by talking about whether animals should have rights as same rights as humans. And in the second side of the issue, or the second paragraph, you talk about the second side, which is basically justifying how humans depend on animals and do need them for their food and various kinds of research. In the end, you follow the same pattern where you summarize about this topic and give a conclusion along with your opinion, whether you feel animals should have rights, or you feel that animals can be used by humans for satisfying their needs. You have to give an opinion, otherwise you would have not achieved your task response. The next essay type is problem and solution. This is another very common type that you might see in various IELTS practice papers, and a lot of you who have given the exam might have seen this question type. So, the question is a statement, probably a problem being posed at you, and you have to discuss the causes of this problem and what are the possible solutions to this problem. The format that you will follow here is that you write an introduction in your own words as to what you understand of this question. Then you follow it with the cause of this problem. Your body paragraph one will be the cause of this problem. That means what is causing global warming, what is causing alarming sea levels, and how is global warming affecting us. And then the next body paragraph, you give the solution as to what can be done to reduce global warming, or how do we make a difference to the changing climate that is happening across the world. In the end, you have to write a conclusion along with your opinion. You have to summarize what you have written above, and followed by what are your thoughts on this topic, which is basically your opinion. After this, we move on to the last and final essay type, which is a two-part question. So, a two-part question is, again, you have a statement in front of you, and it has been divided into two parts where you have to answer two different sets of questions. So, the question over here in front of us is that many people spend their adult life at work, and job satisfaction is an important element of individual well being. So the overall topic is job satisfaction. So you start by paraphrasing the topic in your introduction. Then the first paragraph, your body paragraph one, will be answering question number one, which is what factors contribute to job satisfaction. You have to add an example to this. The second paragraph, or your second body paragraph two, will be answering the second question, which is how realistic is the expectation of job satisfaction for all workers. You also you must actually add an example in this, because only then can the examiner understand that you have understood this topic, and in your own words you have given your thoughts, and you have followed it with an example to support your ideas. The last paragraph, which could be your conclusion, has to be a summary of what you have written above, along with your opinion or your thoughts on whether you think the idea of job satisfaction is realistic or is it not realistic, or what do you feel about the idea of job satisfaction. Now, this brings us towards the end of the essay types, and let's go forward to what are the tips that we have to give to you so that you can do your best on this task type. So, there's something known as POWER, it's an acronym, and it stands for Plan, Organize, Write, Edit, and Revise. Now, you might ask, what are these five things that you need to do if you have to write an essay? So, simple plan is you plan and organize your essay for 10 minutes. So, planning is you try to understand the question and you plan what do you want to write in this answer, or what is your stance, what is your opinion going to be, and how do you want to write this answer. Then you next spend the next 5 minutes organizing your thoughts. So, if you're writing a paper based exam, you can write on bullet points on your sheet over there as to what are the main ideas you want to express in this, and then frame your answer, give it a structure. After that, you spend the next 20 minutes writing, which is enough to write a minimum of 250 words, only if you have planned and organized your answer. Then the last 10 minutes is spent on editing and revising your essay. Now, if you're writing an online IELTS, then you have time to edit where what you mean by edit is you look at spelling mistakes, punctuation errors, grammatical errors. Have you spaced your paragraphs properly? You can cut, paste, and remove. If you have exceeded your word limit, you can look at editing it. And if you're doing the paper based IELTS, then you can look at where have you maybe made again any spelling mistakes, punctuation errors. Did you forget to write something in capital letters? Are your paragraphs spaced properly? And how are you, like, have you made sense of the answer? Revising is reading your answer, like if someone else had to read your answer, and what would they feel when they read your answer. So, this is more like giving yourself an assessment of what you have written. You have to keep the last 5 minutes for this so that when you read, your answer makes sense. And when the examiner reads your answer, they are not confused or unimpressed by what you have written. So, revising your answer is extremely important, and that way you can reduce the risk of any errors. So that brings us to the end of our session today. And thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful for you. And if you are looking for any assistance or you have any queries, please do write to us in the comment section or reach out to us on our website or email. And you can always reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.